Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mama Rick channel. Wherever you're from, on any part of the globe, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Take a second and bask in the glory of this roadmap that Fetch.AI just dropped on us. This must be the most beautiful thing I've seen in 2021. So, guys and girls, I've been in the crypto scene for like 4 years, maybe give or take a few months. And you see a diamond in the rough, you see a diamond in the rough, and that's what it is. Fetch.AI is a diamond in the rough for one reason, and I always say this reason: they have a massive competitive advantage. To have a competitive advantage beyond anyone else, it's not only the idea that you're a first mover, but it's also the fact that you're building a technology, you're building an infrastructure, you're on the way to build an ecosystem that's extremely hard to replicate. So even if someone wanted to copy this stuff is highly philosophical, scientific, metaphysical, whatever word you want to throw at it. It's not just stuff you replicate. This is building agents, this is building software systems, this is building digital assistants that have the ability to be heterogeneous, that have the ability to act autonomously, that have the ability to be in an entropical environment. I don't even know, can you say entropical from entropy? Can be in an environment that is seemingly random, but be able to interact with one another, whether they want to or not. They don't have to. So they have the ability to be reactive and proactive. So this is what we're dealing with Fetch.AI. It's if at any one point in this video I'm lost of words, it's because I am. I don't know what other way to describe this company. It's very, very exciting for me and you to be in this seat or wherever, maybe you might be lying on your bed, to be witnessing such a marvel of technological glory, if that's what I should call it. Let me remind you of a couple of things. The objective of Fetch.AI is to provide a framework that will enable me and you to easily compose software that creates economic value, and merging the concept of autonomous economic agents with distributed ledger technologies will enable the construction of multi-agent systems that will be deployed in the world to do real things, to perform real work. I think the same way it was easy for people to overlook Bitcoin in the start because they had no idea what it is, it's the same way people now have no idea what Fetch.AI is, and that's including me. I have no idea, because the deeper you look into this company and what they're trying to do, it's almost, you can't say it's too good to be true, because what they're doing is highly complex. What they're doing is very difficult. Now, you can see in the roadmap, in the first page of the roadmap, where it's talking about Q1 and Q3, the roadmap is categorized in icons to represent the activities of different teams, and it's being categorized as agents, ledger mainnet, collective learning, DeFi agents, and the ecosystem. Look at this first part under ledger mainnet. So there's the Fetch Stargate DevNet. Token bridge cap increased to 120 million Fed tokens. We've already seen that. I'm going to elaborate a little bit on the others. Public testnet Genesis, Stargate testnet, testnet upgrade and stake migration test, user testing on stake migration. Now the second part is the agents. Completion of version 1.1 of Agent Framework Stack, AEA, AEA packages, AEA Lite, ACN, which is the Agent Communication Network, the AEA Manager, we've all seen that, and the AEA Registry. Then completion of version 2 of the Agent Framework Stack, improved experience for developers, less coding needed, and users, better configurability and security. Let's take a note of a couple of things. The agent framework. So the AEAs reside in a multi-agent environment and communicate asynchronously in a potentially adversarial environment. Agents can search and discover each other. They can directly connect to each other or not, and can connect to multiple ledgers if necessary. So we're dealing with the language agnostic ledger interoperable ecosystem that's being built here. And I'm going to go back to the ledger stroke mainnet in a bit just to shed some more light on that. However, an agent, to be smart, it contains a couple of packages. It contains connections, it contains protocols, it contains skills and contracts. So these are modules within an agent that enable it to perform different services. And all these characteristics, the protocols, the connections, the skills, and the contracts, connect to the ledger or are connected to the system at the same time. So an AA can perform whatever activity it's meant to perform simultaneously because there's that continued connectivity of all the underlying packages within an AEA. So the connections, we know that they wrap software development kits and APIs, and they provide that interface to other networks, ledgers, and services. The protocols, then define the agent-to-agent interaction. So that's how the agents, among other characteristics, that's how they interact with each other. Then the skills, these implement the business logic to deliver economic value, and they deal with the reactive and proactive elements of the autonomous economic agent, which we've talked about earlier. Then the contracts, they enable that smart contract capability, and we'll elaborate on that a bit when we go into DeFi. So to shed some light on the ledger mainnet, because you realize, of course, we know about the 120 million tokens, that bridge was increased. So they themselves elaborate more about the public testnets and more details on these tests and more details on what the testnets are about. But what I want to look at is Stargate, because you look at this and you're wondering, what is Stargate? So when you come to the Cosmos website, this is stargate.cosmos.network. This is what Stargate is. Stargate is a set of upgrades that complete the original roadmap laid out in the Cosmos white paper for the first time ever. Cosmos blockchains will be able to connect with each other using the first standardized protocol for inter-blockchain communication. Fetch.AI picked the right network for interoperability, whether anyone likes it or not. So in Q3, we know there's a ledger mainnet as well. So testnet upgrade and stake migration test, browser extension wallet for Stargate network. So this will be very important to have a browser wallet like MetaMask that you can easily interact with. User testing for stake migration. Stargate upgrade on mainnet. Token bridge cap increases to 250 million FET tokens. Tombstoning of FET staking contract, completion of migration, and Phoenix token claim. So obviously you all know the staking program that's encapsulating the Phoenix program, which is the MetalX airdrop and the AtomX airdrop, is running on an Ethereum smart contract. So Fetch.AI wants to move this contract onto the Fetch mainnet, which is running on the Cosmos blockchain. And that's what they're going to do next month. So they need to do a couple of tests to make sure this goes right, because if it goes wrong, then that will have a tremendous amount of extra work for the Fetch team, and I wouldn't want to be in their position for that. So that's the essence of these tests. And then under agents, we can see Stargate support for agent framework. So we've already looked through Stargate. It's the whole blockchain intercommunication protocol and other consensus algorithms used with the Cosmos SDK that then make Fetch.AI a much more powerful entity. And of course, collective learning. We're all excited about collective learning because, the idea of actually seeing a platform where anyone can use the collective learning suite, it's going to make it so much easier with integrating machine learning and artificial intelligence based protocols for training big data. So I think with this test, it's going to be extremely exciting because anyone is going to have access to this collective learning suite. That is one of the most significant products that Fetch.AI is building. Then we look at DeFi agents in Uniswap, DeFi agents on PancakeSwap and Binance Smart Chain. Now, why that is very significant is that the nature of the autonomous economic agent is that it is a proactive element as opposed to the smart contracts that we all know and love that are reactive. So as a result, the AAs will perform exceptionally well as a second layer complement technology to blockchains and distributed ledger technologies as they bring an added functionality, which, for example, you can see networks like Polygon Matic, which is a second layer to Ethereum to scale it. Just imagine having these blockchain and language agnostic entities that can interact with other distributed ledger technologies that can scale and bring extra functionality, not just on the Fetch ledger, but on any other ledger that has that interconnectivity. So one of these features is accessibility, and we know that AAs are heterogeneous, which means they can exist in different states within different environments, and they're also language agnostic, as we've noted. The other feature is complexity reduction. So through automation, they simplify the user experience at pretty much any other blockchain, and with different functionalities like in decentralized finance. And the other feature is modularization, especially with moving complex decision making and performing machine learning and AI functionalities off chain. So that also ties into oracles. I've done the video about oracles, and think if you haven't watched it, I think you will learn a lot from that. And the other feature is proactiveness. This allows an agency layer to exist on top of the smart contract functionality provided by distributed ledger technologies. So we're essentially talking about scaling any other blockchains using these autonomous agents that are completely decentralized and can be programmed and are accessible to anyone and can be programmed by anyone. And they have a transactional layer which can move information, it can make transactions in other tokens and other things that we haven't even seen yet. So on the last page of this roadmap, this beautifully designed piece, we see the ledger stroke mainnet, and they talk about interoperability of Fetch.AI with Ethereum and Binance Chain through the Gravity Bridge. And if you've watched some of my old videos, I was talking about a company called Somlier. And this company, the company, one of the other companies behind it, the CEO of that company is also under another company or an advisor of another company, which is at the forefront of building this Gravity Bridge. So if you haven't watched my video about Somlier, I think you will learn a lot when you go watch it. You'll learn a lot, this Gravity Bridge and what is happening there. So it's exciting that we're seeing it here. And then Agents, Agent World 5 testnet. That's of course something to look forward to. We've seen all the other testnets, they've been awesome. We can't wait for this Agent World 5 testnet to see what it will look like. Then collective learning, art generating collective learning project on Fetch.AI. So obviously, you know, art generation, that's more like, that can be achieved with generative adversarial networks where you have an adversary and you have a generative network. So you pump in data on the other side as input data, and it matrix multiplication in there, neural networks, hidden layers in there, weights multiplied with what, and then on the other end you actually get images. Depending on the input, the algorithm uses that to generate completely new images. So that's one way this collective learning suite can work perfectly with that kind of thing, generating art NFTs with artificial intelligence. Then DeFi agents, swap supports, native payments, and alerts for DeFi agents. DeFi agents on Fetch mainnet. This is, I don't think there are any more words I can say about this, because DeFi is massive, and I'm sure we're all on our toes. We're all really waiting to see the true capabilities of these agents when it comes to DeFi. So there's no amount of words that I can add to this that will make it any more bullish or any more significant than it is stating in and of itself right here. And then the Ledger mainnet here in Q4, connection of Fetch.AI mainnet to the Cosmos hub with the inter-blockchain communication protocol, and NFT staking support on mainnet. What is even that? NFT staking? I mean, I've been in the NFT game for a while, but of course, Ethereum fees are but I also have some NFTs on the Binance Smart Chain, but you know, that was experimentation. But NFT staking, it's the first time I'm hearing of it. I mean, if any of you knows some more details about this, please comment in the comment section. But this, oh my god. I mean, you know what? I'll let this thing speak for itself. The next agents, AW6 DeFi trading agent competition on test and mainnet. Then under collective learning, we have tokenized collective learning system on mainnet. Wow. So the way they have Atomix, which is a tokenized lending platform, then they have Metalex, which is also a tokenized, and it's going to create other tokens. You can create different derivative markets and tokenize those environments that you're creating within Metalex. It's the same way the collective learning suite is also going to be tokenized. And in the beginning, I didn't understand this. Like, why does Fetch need to create multiple tokens? But it's because when it comes to tokenomics, each environment is meant to have its own different tokenomics, because these are governance tokens, and it makes it easier to pre-program them or to keep updating them on the governance proposals that are well suited for that particular environment. The Fetch.AI token cannot do all that because it is supposed to serve a specific niche of, you have these Fetch tokens, you can create agent-based systems, and you can spin up these agent systems onto blockchains. So you need to have the native Fed token to do that. It serves that purpose and it serves it well. And you can also stake to strengthen the network. So under DeFi agents, we see DeFi fund management agents, agent-based Oracle networks. Oh my, like, yeah, this document definitely speaks for itself. As I said, I'm going to be plenty lost of words as I'm reading this, because there's no other way I can elaborate more on the significance of what is going on here. And if you're watching this for the first time, congratulations, welcome to the community. If you've already been in the Fetch community, then this is a good reason for you to reaffirm to yourself that you have landed onto something that is going to be world changing, and something that will change the way we define future. I think it's going to change. Fetch.AI is going to blend properly in the future of humanity, or in what we define as the future. And then lastly, we have the ecosystem relaunch of the Fetch.AI website. Obviously, that will be extremely exciting to see something new with the Fetch.AI website. So guys, that's it. It's a beautiful roadmap. Just like everything else, I'm sure it took a lot of effort to compile this. And it's not just that people sat around at a table and decided to do a quick PowerPoint slide on what they think the future is going to be. But the reason why this roadmap has taken this long to come out is because they've been working, crafting, building, and forging a way as to how this Fetch.AI ecosystem is going to evolve. And I'm sure a lot of work has been put in to come up with this amazing piece right here. And there's definitely more than meets the eye when it comes to what has been written here. So guys, thank you for watching. We're all excited to see what the future holds for the Fetch.AI ecosystem. And all I can say is stick around. Stick around. As Huma Inshik said, hold on to those tokens, because there's a lot that's coming and we have no idea. But we can only say that we're extremely fortunate to be in the position that we're in today. Guys, take care. Have a good weekend.